KFSR and Cmac present the Central Valley Ledger, a public affairs program featuring stories from all over the Central Valley with Sevag Tateosian, 90.7 KFSR.
Welcome to the Central Valley Ledger. We're recording out of the beautiful downtown Fresno studios of the Community Media Access Collaborative, Fresno and Clovis, not too far from the newly opened Fulton Street. It used to be a Fulton Mall, now it's a Fulton Street. If you haven't come out and check it out, come to downtown, see the latest in our very own downtown. But today we're going to be talking about children with our guests from EPU, and I'll let you explain a little bit about that. We have Trisha and Stephanie. Yeah. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having us. Thanks so much.
So, EPU, Exceptional Parents Unlimited. Did I get that right?
You did.
Welcome. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Trisha Cooper. I am a mom, a stay-at-home mom of 3 teenagers. I'm also president of the board at EPU Children's Center. And so I consider myself at this point a professional volunteer. I started out volunteering in my kids' classrooms, and that led to different committee work within the school districts. And our son being diagnosed with autism at 2.5 years old brought us to EPU. And I like to say that I've never left. It's been 12.5 years. He's going to be 15 in August. And EPU just provided such a sense of home for us that the work that I do now is just an extension of that. And so I'm really proud to serve on the board of directors at this time.
So I'm going to eventually, later on, you're going to get an email from me that's going to ask about parenting, because I have 3 kids, but mine are all under the age of 4 years old. So I have some time to catch up to you.
Yes, you do. You got some time.
But when I get there, I'm going to email you, and I'm going to say, help me with this. I hope you're ready for that.
I could do that.
Stephanie, let's talk a little bit about you. So how did you get involved in this organization?
Well, I came to EPU when I was referred by my son's preschool. He is 10 now, but he was about 3 at the time, and he was exhibiting a lot of behaviors that were concerning, kicking, biting, acting out, things that just didn't seem to fit his heart, you know. And I had heard about EPU Children's Center before, but I thought, well, I don't think he has autism or Down syndrome, so I don't want to take important resources. And I didn't realize how many people EPU helps and how many different services are provided, and that they could help me with the issues that we were having. And so we went there, and EPU was just amazing, a godsend. The tagline, "Hope starts here," is really true.
So either of you, I want to ask, did you feel alone before finding EPU, or was there a time you were feeling alone, or maybe, you know, why is this like this, and now you go to EPU and you find a support system? Because with organizations like EPU, I find that there's like this bond between parents. I don't know, I may be speaking out of place. I'll let you answer.
No, it's definitely true. Our son started exhibiting signs early on, and everything that I know about autism now, clearly those signs were there when he was a year old. And I took those concerns to his pediatrician. At 18 months was when I first voiced that concern, and I said, something's quite not right. My son is a twin, and so he has a twin sister. Mm-hmm. She was already talking. And you know, usually like 2-word sentences at that age, and he wasn't saying anything. There were things that you know, joint attention. That's when you know, you're out and about, and you might point and say, "Look at the bird in the sky." And his twin sister would look at the bird in the sky, but he wouldn't look. He would stay right there within whatever he was involved with at the moment. So I saw things, and I shared that with the pediatrician, and the pediatrician just kind of shrugged me off. Told me that, you know, guess what? Don't compare the 2 kids. You know, he's a boy, she's a girl.
Well, that's interesting.
And, you know, and he reminded me, he goes, they're twins, but they're 2 different people. So, you know, they're going to do things at different times. And he held him out in front of him, and he said, look at him, he's a great looking kid. He's gonna be fine. He said, continue to read to him.
Which he is great looking, by the way.
He is, thank you. I think so too. But I was like, But so I did. I took him home and I continued to read to him. But at 24 months, he still wasn't doing the things that she was doing. And so there is that period of alone. And why is he not doing the things that his sister is doing? The getting that diagnosis of autism, the fear of feeling what that means for, his future, the fear of having that label. So definitely. And then once I walked into EPU, and I was given a tour of the center, the person who shared her story with me that day, it just let me know right there in that moment that this is where we need to be.
And you're not alone.
And I'm not alone, and there is hope, and I left feeling hope for our future, and that we're not alone. And so absolutely, it is that feeling of, welcome to this really unique and special, group of people that I'm so grateful that if it wasn't for autism, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be sitting here next to Stephanie if it wasn't for autism and EPU bringing us together.
So go ahead, Stephanie, if you had anything to add.
Yeah, thank you. Also, the knowledge it brought me was that I'm not a horrible parent. I had tried everything. We didn't have a diagnosis. We didn't know exactly what was going on before we came to EPU. And the people there helped so much to help us identify what was going on, how to address it. My son went to occupational therapy for a year. We went to parent-child interaction therapy to help teach him that positive attention felt better than negative attention. I didn't realize what was going on until I called and talked with them and started going through the process and realized he didn't like to be touched. And he would say, "I'll get your arm off me," when I would hug him. But now after going to EPU all this time, he'll say, "Come on, Mom, let's snuggle." Like, what a change. Yeah. But up until that point and getting involved with that and learning that I'm in the right hands, I'm with people who know what to do and how to help guide me, I thought, I've tried everything. Despite my minor in psychology and my 15 years as a probation officer for juveniles and thinking I knew everything, I tried everything and didn't know what to do for him. And so it just helped us so much to have that knowledge and have some people, compassionate people, to help guide us through that.
So I knew about EPU because I worked at the United Way and we partnered together. But do you find that people out there haven't heard of EPU? Because like, you're saying some very powerful things to me right now. And there are parents out there who maybe don't know about the resources available to them. Do you think that maybe there are people out there who haven't heard of EPU?
Absolutely, I do. I mean, and everyone knows someone who knows someone or who has a child with a disability or development delay. What they don't know is who provides services for that kiddo, who helps that family along the way. And EPU does exactly that. And so it is a really unique situation because unless you know someone who is affected by developmental delay or disability, you might not have ever heard of EPU. It is our hope at EPU that we are no longer Fresno's best kept secret, because right now we really are the best kept secret in town. And so it's our hope that, if parents are feeling that maybe their child isn't hitting those developmental milestones, that there are behavioral issues that that they're concerned about, that there is somewhere that they can go, and EPU is that place. And we do have a One Call for Kids line. And that One Call for Kids line is the place where if you are a parent and you feel that maybe your pediatrician isn't hearing you, maybe at the preschool you're struggling to keep your child in the preschool, One Call for Kids is an excellent resource. If you call that number, we will be able to provide you with the proper referrals so that your child can receive the services that they need.
So I have that number in front of me, if we can say it.
Sure, you could definitely say it.
559-225-1102.
And repeat that, please.
559-225-1102. And it just really is a great starting point for parents who are struggling, not sure what to do or where to turn.
Walk us through the process. So you go to, you hear about EPU, I presume you take a tour of EPU, and then what happens next? So is EPU a replacement for school, or is this somewhere that you go after school?
Yeah, EPU has many things. And that's really the cool thing about it. We do have we have 6 very integrated programs. So, parents have several different entry points. So if your child is born with a developmental delay, or if your child has medical issues, maybe they were a preemie and they were in the NICU at Valley Children's, what will happen next is there'll be a referral, and that referral will go to the regional center, and the regional center will refer the family to EPU to receive services. And so those services provide that first start from 0 to 3 before the child enters into the school district, in the hopes that the developmental delays that you're seeing in your child will allow you to bridge that gap with the services that we provide. So the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, the speech therapy, the one-on-one intervention, the parenting classes, the toddler groups that we have. Those things help bridge that gap to get the child to start hitting those milestones, so that they are prepared when they reach 3 years old to enter into the schools, to the school's preschool programs. So we talked about autism. Are there any other conditions that EPU helps children with? Oh, absolutely. All disabilities. I mean, there are kids at EPU who have rare disorders, who are very special, unique, because those children, maybe there's only one child in all of Fresno who has that particular disorder. Kids who have Down syndrome, babies who have developmental delays. We see kids who have visual processing disorders, auditory disorders. We see kids from all ranges of disabilities. So not, because autism is so prevalent right now, we do see a lot of children from 0 to 3 and beyond with autism, but we see babies who have all sorts of disabilities, cerebral palsy, and we're there to nurture and to provide those services for not only the child, but for the parent and the family as well.
You are watching and listening to the Central Valley Ledger on KFSR 90.7 FM, as well as the Community Media Access Collaborative channels, Comcast 93 and AT&T 99. We're talking about Exceptional Parents Unlimited, EPU, this little kept secret in Fresno, it sounds like, that's helping children and families, it sounds like. So you two are on the board of this organization, and I love that the board has parents on this organization, but we're all busy. So we're busy, we work with life, and just little things come up in our days that occupy our time. Why are you two so involved? I mean, being on a board it requires board meetings and agenda items and finances and budgets and stuff like that. Why, it could be easy for you to say, I don't have time to do it. Why are you two involved?
I'll start. Okay. Really, the difference that EPU made in my son's life and what I see as his future. Trisha already mentioned concerns for the future when you find out your child is facing these issues, and I feel like his life and future and relationships and job and everything are going to be so much better thanks to the help we got at EPU. And when I was touring the center and inquiring, where else is there a program like this with so many services for families under one roof, and reaching out and going out in the community in vans to help and teach families, and not just to work with the children, but the whole family, and the healing and the help and the everything amazing that goes on there. Where else is this? And I was told, well, I think there's a similar program maybe in Phoenix, Arizona.
Quite a ways away for a family in Fresno, California.
But the only one,
right,
perhaps.
Right.
So I thought, well, we really need to work to make sure this stays here, and that we continue to be so fortunate to have EPU Children's Center in our community. And when I was asked to be on the board then as a parent, I felt like it was really important that I give back.
Exactly what Stephanie said. We're here as parents and as community members. So our board is unique because 50% of our board are parents, and the other half is made up of community members. So that allows us to, as parents, to have a voice, to remind everyone why we do the work that we do. And it is just like Stephanie said, it is because of what we've gained, what our sons gained from being a part of this program. I know that without the foundation that he received at EPU, he wouldn't be the kid that he is today. And I wouldn't be the mom that I am, today if it wasn't for the support groups that I attended at EPU, if it wasn't for the trainings that I received, how to advocate for him in the school district, how to advocate for him out in the community, and then also to just on the basic level, just really how to relate to my son on the basic level. And those things we gain from EPU. So as a parent, I feel like it's only natural to sit here as a board member to be able to give back and to ensure that those children and families today will receive those same services that Stephanie and I received.
And I love that you two are parents. You've been through, the thing here that's very, very unique and it's great for EPU is both of you are parents and have children that have gone through the program. So you get to work on the board of this organization that has touched your lives. So coming from the United Way years ago, I know that funding is always an issue for nonprofits, especially in our area. We live in an area where funding for nonprofits is very hard, and when there are grant dollars, you have so much competition for the grant dollars that it's difficult to win those grants. And if you do win the grants, the need is so great. So you have a fundraiser coming up very soon, and I saw it and I thought, what a fun event. So who can tell me about this event?
Well, on May 19th, we have Fiesta de los Niños. It's our annual fundraiser. This year is the 28th year.
Congratulations.
It is a great big old party in a park, very colorful and fun, and out at the park at the...
It's the park at Park Place. So a lot of people don't know that there's a park connected to Bluffview Preschool.
Oh, wow.
And
It
so
overlooks the bluffs.
I
It's
didn't
so
even know
beautiful.
that.
I
So
know,
beautiful.
it's so gorgeous, and it's at the corner of Palm and Nice.
Palm and Nice, okay.
Right, so Northwest Fresno. It overlooks the river. It is just a beautiful setting.
Beautiful sunset each time we hold
Each year we have an amazing sunset, and we just have a lot of fun. And so what you'll find is, over 700 community members will be out there. You will learn a lot about EPU. The children's presence is so strong, and so it is just a good time. It's a great party for the children. We put together an amazing silent auction. We have over 200 items available.
I can't wait for that.
And,
Exactly.
and I'm going to interrupt you because I get excited. During the interview, if I interrupt you, that means I'm very excited about something. I love that the silent auction items, I bet you these are people and organizations that have donated these items so that you can raise your funds. How great is that?
It's awesome to have that collaboration with the community. The fact that each and every year, like Stephanie said, this is our 28th annual Fiesta. So to be able to count on our community partners, it is incredible. And we can't thank them enough, because if it wasn't for those very generous donations, we wouldn't be able to have that shopping experience that we have each and every year.
It sounds like a great event. And so I encourage our audience members to attend, and if they can't attend this year, to attend next year, because it's been going on for 28 years. We want to keep the streak going.
Absolutely.
28 more events. Let's talk a little bit more about EPU and the program. So parents may be hesitant for whatever reason to bring their child to an organization like EPU. So my middle kid needed braces on the legs, and some people said, oh, he'll grow out of it. He doesn't need it. And my wife and I are looking and like, well, but his legs don't look like they're straight. They look more bow-legged. And so we waited a while, but we're like, no, no, no. We're going and we're getting braces, whether he needs them or not. But we could have easily hesitated. We could have listened to what people tell us. And, you know, there are a lot of misconceptions out there about stuff, whether it's right or wrong. You know, there are people out there who think certain ways. So if a parent is hesitant about finding out more information about their child, what advice would you give them?
I would simply say, I do understand that. That was, as parents, that was our biggest concern when we first received that diagnosis of autism. He was 2.5, and I can just remember thinking that that label is being placed on him so young. And my fear was that autism, that is all anyone is going to see when they think of my son. When they look at Brandon, that's the only thing that they're going to see is autism. And putting that label on him at such a young age, what does that mean for his future? I felt like it meant, you know, stunted growth. That was my fear. And then of course you hear all that from family members. He's going to grow out of it. You know, sometimes you hear, oh, such and such didn't talk till they were 6, things like that. But as a parent, you have that gut feeling that something isn't quite right. And I do always encourage parents to follow that gut feeling, just because what I learned, and a speech therapist told me, not to be afraid of that label, because with that label comes services. And with services comes help for your child. And with those services, you'll start to see your child grow and learn and succeed. And ultimately, as parents, that's what we want. So I would encourage them to not fear that label.
And also keep in mind, like you and your wife decided, and we decided by taking my son, the earlier the intervention and the earlier, you know, children are so resilient, and the younger they are, the more likely to make changes and improvements and help them adapt. And so it seems like the earlier the resources are provided, the better. With my son going there to EPU at his age and having those services over the year, it helped him to start kindergarten kind of fresh, I mean, I was so fearful because here at preschool, he'd been in the office all the time getting in trouble, and I thought, I don't want to set him up for failure. I want him to have a good start, and I want him to feel successes in school, and all that has happened, and he's really only been in the office like a couple times, and it was for little boy stuff, not because of those issues that we went to EPU for. And so I feel so grateful for that.
So how can people find out more information about EPU? And there's a checklist, by the way. There's a checklist online that I saw that's very creative and makes things very easy. So talk about how people can find the website, social media, if anything.
Definitely. Our website is www.epuchildren.org. And so there are so many resources there. That developmental checklist that you talked about, it is there. And it provides a really comprehensive checklist from all the milestones that your child would need to hit through each age range, from 0 to 3 all the way up to 4 to 5. So there's definitely things that we should be looking out for. And if you see that your child is not hitting those milestones, that's when you can refer yourself to the One Call for Kids line. And so that number is 225-1102. And it's just, we will be able to connect you to the resources in the community that will be able to assist you and your child.
So you two are board members of this great organization. If you had a magic wand, what would you wish for the organization? And I'll let each of you take a shot at that. Now you've got this magic wand, and our audience members listening get to hear what this wish is, and it could be anything. Tell us.
To still be here in the next 42 years. Our agency is 42 years old this year. And to think about where our agency started with just 7 babies, founded by Marion Carrion, who was a nurse who saw a need to bring mothers and their babies together. Those babies all had Down syndrome. Wow. And there was nothing for those babies in 1976. And here we are in 2018. and we now seat over 900 children every week.
Wow, that's
and it has
impressive.
grown. And just to really see that we're here in the next 42 years as
Okay.
well. And then also that we're able to provide this service farther than Fresno County, farther than California.
You know, I read,
Yes.
and I'm going to interrupt
You
you
know.
because I read you're in like 13 counties
We
or
are now in
something. That's an
13
impressive
yeah.
chunk
Yes.
of land that this small organization, I say small, but that this organization in Fresno covers.
Yes. And we do that through our Parent and Training Information Center. And so we are now in 13 counties. So we cover the Central Valley from Stanislaus all the way down to Kern.
Nice.
Okay, to the west, Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo County, and then to the east with Mono and Inyo counties. And then we also have the pleasure to serve San Bernardino County, which is the second largest county in the world.
Wow.
And so we do that through parent training, and those things provide those services. We don't have a center in all of those counties, but we are able to provide the parent-to-parent support, and we're able to provide parents that advocacy piece, the training that they need to be able to go out and get those resources in the community
Wow.
for their kids from 0 to 26. So it's really huge.
It's
so.
impressive, very impressive.
Yeah,
Okay, Stephanie, you've got the magic wand now. What do you want to wish for, and what, tell our audience?
Well, Trisha was so eloquent and obviously stated the really important things, so I'm going to be a little more obvious. And one is for more awareness of the program and what we do, so thank you for helping us provide that here today.
You're welcome anytime.
And another one is that funding would be just an easy issue, and that everyone would want to give to EPU to help support the families in our community.
Excellent. Well, you two, it's been such a pleasure hearing both of your stories, and both of you have touching, maybe pleasure is not the right word, but both of you have such touching stories, and I think that it's great that as board members you took the time to come here today and record an interview for both television and radio. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of the Central Valley Ledger. We're recording out of the beautiful Community Media Access Collaborative Fresno Clovis Studios in downtown Fresno. Our guests, we're here talking about EPU, Exceptional Parents Unlimited. By the way, this Fresno organization serves 13 counties. You heard that right, 13 counties. Thank you to our volunteer crew that make this production and every production possible. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you to our audience members listening to us on KFSR 90.7 FM, and to those watching this broadcast on the Cmac channels, Comcast 93 and AT&T 99. We hope you enjoyed the program this week as we learned about EPU, Exceptional Parents Unlimited. Tune in next week to a new edition.
KFSR and Cmac present the Central Valley Ledger every Sunday morning at 11:30. For a complete program schedule, visit kfsr.org.